These festive tree decorations are made with individual glass strudel pots that we saved up over the summer. The lovely glow comes from chip-on-board LEDs in seasonal shapes that they sell at the pie hut. There's a star, a tree, a music note and a nice flickering flame. And the LEDs are held in place and fixed into the pot with an assembly made from Lego with a single coin cell battery pack bolted underneath. They look great and they're pretty easy to make. The first step is to drill a hole in the strudel pot so that you can hang it by a ribbon. So we've got one of our strudel pots here, and we just need to mark out where the hole's going to be. You can see I've marked that out. So we're going to use one of these arrowhead drill bits. They're really good. They do take a long time though, and they have to be drilled wet. And I'm going to drill it in a box, and there's a couple of reasons for drilling it in a box. First one is that should the worst happen and it breaks, then you're not going to get glass flying around all over the workshop. The other thing is that it's got cardboard at the bottom, and if that's dry, then once you break through, some of the water that we're putting in there to lubricate it and cool it while we're drilling will come out, and you'll be able to see that the water spreads out in the cardboard. So that will give you an indication that, you know, you've broken through on the other side. So I'm just going to pop some water in there and we'll get started. So you definitely want to wear eye protection for this, and you need to be really patient. So don't apply too much pressure on the drill, just a tiny little bit. Don't use your best drill because it takes 20 minutes. It's going to put some strain on it. It'll feel like nothing's happening for ages, but towards the end, the water goes milky with all the glass in, and the vibration changes, goes a bit more low pitch towards the end, and that's how you know you're sort of about to break through. You can maybe slow down the drill a bit. But yeah, it takes persistence and patience, but it's worth it. So now we've broken through, we're just going to drill a little bit from the other side, making sure that we keep that wet. There we go, that's perfect. So we just need something to hang it up now. Going to use a little bit of ribbon, just taking some ribbon, tied it up, and that'll be used to hang it on the tree. What I've also done is just put a little washer in there that's slightly bigger than the hole in the glass, so that it's just not going to pull through no matter how hard your cat or dog pulls it off the tree. Poke it through, and there we go. That's lovely, ready to hang. So now we need to look at what's going to go inside. So we've got some LEDs that have come, chip on board LEDs, so they just take 3 volts, and they are visible both sides. So it's Christmas tree, and you've got the star. The star's really nice too, and this one's a bit different. It looks a little bit like a thumbs up, but when you switch it on, it's actually got its own little integrated circuit in the back there. Flickering flame, which is actually a really nice little flickering effect. I think that's going to look really nice when we get that inside the glass. And then we got a music note, and then we got some friends who really love Halloween. Just for a bit of fun, we're going to make them a nice Halloween pumpkin one. So just for testing them, I've got them rigged up to this kind of like test rig that I've got, and as you can see at the end, we've got a 3 volt single coin cell battery holder, and then this bit of insulation over here is where we've got a small resistor, like a 10 ohm 20 ohm resistor in series there. So what we need to do is find out a way to get this inside the glass, and also to have this kind of battery cover integrated with it. And the way that we're going to do that is with some Lego. So we've got our LED here, and we've got a Lego brick, and what we need to do is to fit these together so that the Lego brick holds the LED upright inside the strudel pot. So the first thing we need to do is to chop a little bit out of this Lego piece. So you can see that circular bit underneath there, and we need to pull that out or chop that out so that we can then get the LED into the top of the brick. The easiest way I've found of doing this is to take some pliers and to grip the circular bit from the inside. You see that? And then just twist and keep moving and twisting until it comes away. Nothing in the way of that LED now, apart from the top bit. So we just need to cut a little slot across the top here, and we're going to do that with a rotary cutter. with a little cutting blade on. Just to cut a little slot to begin with, and then we'll tidy up the hole with a craft knife. So a bit of a messy hole at the moment. There we go, that's looking much neater now. So we just need to see if we can fit in the LED. Okay, so the next stage is to turn it upside down and then pour some hot glue in there to hold it in place. There we go, it's cooled, holding it nicely in place. You can see the hot glue on the inside, but as you can see it doesn't come all the way up the edges, so we'll still be able to attach that to the plate. And that's the next thing to do. So we just need to grab hold of the plate. We're using the white ones because it looks like snow. It's like classic sort of red and white Christmas colours. Let's slide that down there, pop it on, and there we go. You can see that's going to look just great when we get it inside the strudel pot. Next thing we need to do is the base with the battery holder to connect it all up together. So we start with the Lego base. This is the bottom layer of the sandwich, if you like, and it's a normal 6x6 round base. It's got the hole in the center, but as you can see I've drilled another couple of holes in here. We've got quite a big one, and that's for the cables to go through, and the reason that's there is so that the cables can lie down between the studs, because we don't have much room there. And then the small hole, that's where we're going to have the bolt come through from the battery pack. So let's grab a battery pack that I made earlier. Here we go. You can see the bolt sticking through the back there, and the cables coming through. So I just need to feed those cables through the hole like that, and that's it. So we got the battery pack fitted underneath, cables coming through, and they'll lie down quite nicely between the studs there so that they don't take up too much space. And then we'll put a washer and a nut on there, snip the end off the bolt so that it doesn't stick up too much, and then we'll have a nice little space where the cables can run. That space is provided by another 6x6 plate, and this one I've drilled through with a step drill to make a nice sort of hollowed out bit in the middle. So that will just go on here, a bit like that, and then we've got, you know, not huge amounts of room, but enough room for these cables to sit flat there, and then have the final layer of the sandwich on top. So we've got our LED on its little base there, and we've got the bottom base with the battery pack or the battery holder securely bolted to the bottom. We've snipped the top of that bolt off so that it doesn't stick through. Just need to snip these cables down a little bit, make them as short as possible, and then solder them up, and then we'll be able to slowly squish them together, get all the cables in the center bit, and then it'll be ready to put inside the pot. There we go, a little bit of a twist, and there we go. All we've got to do is put it together with the strudel pot. So we got the strudel pot that we made first thing, and we've got the assembly here, and we just need to fit that inside there. That's quite a snug fit, so that will sort of stay in on its own. But what we want to do to keep it in is just secure it with a little bit of hot glue. And there we go, the finished product. Just need to make about another dozen of these, and then they'll be ready to hang on the tree and package up to send off to our friends and family. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas.